School, and comments have also been made. The aviation school is the second aviation college that is established in Nigeria by the vision of Kwara State Government. The other one is the Federal Aviation School in Zaria. We saw it, we went through the classes, we spoke to students, we saw the demonstration flights, and we are happy that that is happening in Kwara State and in the country. We also went to the Kwara State Ultramodern Diagnostic Center that is nearing completion, which is a health facility. And we were toured around it, and we saw that the facilities were being installed. And from the reports from the Ministry of Health, we were made to understand that when it is commissioned by December 1st, that is the date they gave us, Kwara State will have a very, very modern diagnostic center that could compare with any other laboratory in the world in terms of the facilities that are there. Now, Your Excellency, these are frontline projects, and they show also the vision that you have for your people. I must say that we have not been able to go to primary schools and secondary schools, maybe because of the tight program we have. But we discussed the question of primary education with the governor on my arrival. We also discussed the question of secondary education, because we cannot achieve success at the tertiary level of education until primary education and secondary education, particularly public primary and secondary schools, are placed in the order that they require. And the governor told me of the progress he's making with local governments to place primary education at a level where our children should be able to learn. Most of us here, we went to public primary schools, we went to public secondary schools. We must return our schools to what they were for Nigeria to make progress. And I believe the governor will be talking about them, about what he's doing in the area of education. It is very important. At the level of the federal government, we have done a lot of projects in Kwara State, and we are still going to make sure that a lot more will follow. But let me start maybe with primary schools. In the last 1 year of President Goodluck Jonathan's administration, we have been able to supply textbooks, basic textbooks, to all the state primary education boards. For primary 1 to 3, all the basic textbooks, mathematics, English, and social studies, basic science, we supply them. And last week we awarded the contract in the Federal Executive Council to supply all the remaining textbooks for class 4 to 6 in primary schools, and also workbooks for the secondary schools. What we are doing through the universal basic education is to make sure that there is no primary school pupil that does not have the basic textbook in the classroom, because that has been the basic problem of primary education, in addition to the other issues we discussed with the governor. Now, those books are supposed to be very free, and they are written, supplied free by universal basic education. They are not supposed to be sold at all to any child. Now, we know that in partnership with the state governments, the federal government is working a lot in the area of education. But again, investment isn't sufficient. It is the commitment of teachers and school administrators that will make the difference between success and failure in investment in education. Now, as we come into Kwara, we believe it is important for our teachers, for our headmasters, for our principals, for our community leaders to pay interest, particularly to what government, pay attention to what government is doing at the level of primary and secondary education. Support local governments, support state governments, because without that kind of support from our communities, we will not completely succeed in transforming the educational sector. Now, there are prime projects that the federal government is doing in Kwara. Now, one of the projects we are doing is been already sufficiently explained by the Minister of Transport. We are committed, very, very committed, to return the railways back to life. For almost 25 years, our railways died completely. And because the railways died, everything we're transporting on this road in this country, from Lagos to the east, from the seaport to all parts of the country, all these heavy trucks, they follow the road that we construct. In no part of the world will you build a road and carry everything, whether it is crude oil, whether it is manufactured goods, we carry them by road in Nigeria because the railways failed. And because we are depending on only on the roads, we construct a road today, in 5-10 years, those roads give way because of the heavy duty equipment that travel on our roads. So Mr. President decided that we will return the railways back. And you know, every government must have priorities. Presently, I am happy to confirm what the Minister of Transport told you. In the Kwara State segment of the railways, we have completed the existing railway rehabilitation in Kwara State up to Lagos. Yesterday, we took the ride in the train from Ilorin to Offa to confirm, and we discussed with passengers. Ordinary, about 1,000 people were carried from Kwara to Lagos. And we went there with the Minister of Transport, and we entered every coach and discussed with the passengers. They were so happy. You could see how happy Nigerians are when they see progress. The ordinary people were praying, and what they were telling us was, look, honorable ministers, go and tell the president, you must not allow the railways to fall, to go back to where they were. They also asked for more coaches, and the minister promised that in the 2013 budget, the federal government is placing order for new modern coaches that will make the rail not only working but also comfortable for the citizens of Nigeria. Now the rail lines from from Ilorin to Mina have been completed, and in the next 2 weeks they will be certified, so that the rails, and the minister promised us, and is doing so here to you again today, that by January the trains will start moving again from Lagos to Ibadan, to Ilorin, to Mina, up the way to Kano State, which was what it used to be before. So our rail project is basic. You can never talk of mass transit without the railways. If you have those railways, for example, that ply Ilorin to Lagos every day, let's say you have 3 of such movements, nobody will go to the roadside. Only very few people will go to the roads, and the roads will last. And that's exactly what the federal government wants to achieve. And transportation is cheap by the rail. Everybody that went through it yesterday confirmed that they are saving money. We saw an old man in Offa who was a former engineer in the public service. He said he parked his car at Offa to travel to Ilorin by rail and to return to Offa. And he told us that it was cheap to come here. And we said thank you. He said the federal government must focus on the railways. And let me reassure the people of Kwara State that by the end of this administration, the entire railway system in Nigeria will work very, very well, including the new rail lines, the modern trend that we're already introducing. The second priority of the federal government, which is in Kwara and other places, is power supply. Again, because of lack of continuity that the Deputy Speaker of Kwara State stated here. No, I think maybe the Deputy President of Ratau spoke here. The power system in Nigeria completely collapsed, more or less. A huge country like Nigeria, we do not have stable power supply. If you're a woman, you have a barbing salon, you have to buy your generator. If you're a mechanic, you have to buy your own power system. For people that are simply grinding ingredients, you have to buy your own small generator. This has killed business in several ways and increased the cost of producing things in Nigeria. And so the president in his transformation agenda insisted that he wants to stabilize power in this country during his time. Presently, let me tell you, within Kwara, we are building quite a number of power substations. We're also rehabilitating the Jaba hydroelectric power works. We were supposed to go there yesterday, but the minister was busy, he couldn't come back. I know that work has reached advanced stage. We are building 10 new power plants in Nigeria. 10 new gas-fired power plants are under construction. And what the federal government is doing now is to connect gas to those power plants, because some of them have been completed. And we are working on gas to connect them, and I believe in 2013, Nigerians will see even greater stability in power supply. We are already seeing so, even from the marginal recovery we have done with the existing hydropower stations. We have begun to notice stable increase in stability of power. We have not reached there, and we are not talking about it yet. But I believe that by the time we fire the 10 new power plants that are under construction from next year, our people will begin to see stability. And once power is stable, business will rise, employment will increase. Once you increase businesses in the private sector, then people will look for a lot of jobs will be generated. So again, that is the second priority under the transformation agenda of Mr. President. We are working on it, and I'm sure even in Kwara here, not everywhere, but we would have begun to see some marginal increase in power stability in your areas. We want to assure you that there will be no going back until we achieve greater stability and uninterrupted power supply in the country. Now, yesterday, we went to Shonga irrigation project of the federal government, and that was where the Emir met us. Now, we have a huge land area there of hundreds and hundreds of acres of land. The farmers have been trying to use that land since the 1970s. The federal government, first it was former Kwara state government. The federal government took it over, and it was never implemented. In 2010, Mr. President decided that that irrigation project should be implemented to promote rice production in the country. We started the job in 2010. We have to build a 32 kilometer embarkation around the farm to stop flooding, so that farmers will use that land